The big weekend show. Uh-oh.
Donald Trump says he's safe and well after reports of gunshots described to have been fired in his vicinity. Local officials in Palm Beach in Florida say it happened in the grounds of his golf course while he was playing. An AK-47 assault rifle has apparently been recovered.
It's looking across the golf course at a chain link fence, and there are a couple of, like we saw with these pictures, a couple of bags, one that had a GoPro in it, and I think one had some ceramic tiles in it. And he sees a couple of inches of a short-barreled AK-47 sticking through the chain link fence, and then realizes what it is, and then does something about it. That's pretty amazing police work, and my goodness, how fortunate.
Yeah, we are lucky again. There's no denying that. And I think to sort of try to advance the story a little bit here early on as we are, this is a bureaucratic failure, but an individual success, okay? Because bureaucratically, there's no way there should have been this kind of a hole in the security around Donald Trump. And, you know, as including Nicole has made the point, and many of the other commentators, the protection that you get as a VIP from the Secret Service or from the NYPD here in New York.
Bro, they did the job. Why are they complaining? They did the job and they did it right. Well, I mean, they didn't do it super right because they didn't end up like actually shooting the guy. But like they literally did the job. They protected him and they're still mad. They're like, oh, no one who doesn't love our big, beautiful boy should be allowed near him. That's the argument you're making at this point. It's like there should be a 1 mile radius around Donald Trump at all times where like people who are mean to him, who have mean thoughts about him, must immediately get arrested. Like he ain't Bashar al-Assad, bro. This is not happening. What the fuck are you like? What do you expect?
Beyond Mayorkas, nobody gets fired. And who has firing power? The president. Right. Where is our president?
Yeah, Joe Biden should fire the Secret Service that Trump really likes, by the way.
On the ground. If this team today, where they got the picture of the vehicle, they got the vehicle rapidly. They communicated amongst themselves, and someone was taken into custody fairly swiftly.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't know where this guy resided. There's some indicia that he's not from the area, right? So we don't know if he was doing pre-surveillance to try to pick up where Trump is on a Sunday, et cetera. That's all going to be looked at. But, you know, at the time, they don't know what they're getting into. Is the car booby-trapped? Is there somebody else in the car? Does he have bombs? Remember the Boston bombing, okay? I had guys up there from NYPD, my guys. And, you know, those guys were throwing bombs out the back of the truck. So you have no idea what you're getting into with something at this level. So at this point, I think we can say very good response, well coordinated. Kudos to the team that responded on the ground. You got to go back to the prophylactic aspect of this. Should it have happened to begin with?
I'm just curious about what happens tomorrow, because after July 13th in Butler, no one from the Secret Service came to the mics to talk to the American people to clarify anything. So in the void, what did we find? Conspiracy theories, lots of questions, all sorts of problems, a tremendous amount of reporting. But what I'm curious about is if we're going to see the acting director of the Secret Service tomorrow.
Someone in the chat. I know a guy who can get some Afghan soldiers to do security. Yeah, he's a little bit caught up with some other shit right now, but if Trump is real desperate for some extra security, we got just the guy. He's got passports. He's ready to let it rip, dude. He's a little tied up currently, but it's pretty funny that the context for this attempt is him golfing. Like, bro's running for president, but just golfs instead of giving a about America. The optics aren't even good for him. Yeah, but his fans love that shit. Thank God for thank God there is a wonderful median American voter out there who knows the solution. People having more guns will fix this. I agree. As far as cosmic tortures go, Trump repeatedly experiencing near misses from people he cannot credibly leverage politically is pretty funny. Yeah, that is a very funny monkey's paw situation for him. That's what I mean. Like, I bet you that in his mind there was like a brief moment where he was like, oh my God, I hope it's a Haitian guy or some shit. Why can he not leverage the one politically as opposed to the last one? Because despite not being like a registered Republican, he's a former registered Republican, a former Trump supporter, and also seemingly was like, oh, let's be real, it's because he's a 58-year-old white man. That's the reason why. Like, that's number one. He's a 58-year-old cisgender white man. It is basically the most protected category. It's going to be really hard. If he was like even a 50-year-old black man, you could do that. You could leverage it. If he was a migrant, oh my God. Oh, that would be perfect for him. He's insane though. Isn't that leverage enough? No, that's the other part. He didn't even do this for like abortion. You know what I mean? Like, as a white guy, that makes it really hard for him already to like make a tailor-made message around this, because at most you get like, oh, your words are making this really hard for us. Like, you can't ever do that. If you're a Republican, you can never say words are violence, because words are literally violence when you're doing it, right? This guy did it for Ukraine, most likely. Like, he did it for NATO, and that in and of itself is not exactly like a massive issue. There is bipartisan consensus for the most part, with some Republicans saying like, we're giving Ukraine too much money, but it's ultimately still foreign policy. So that's relegated to the American bipartisanship status. So overall, it's not like one of those issues that's like inherently just for the Democratic Party. If you poll Democrats and Republicans on like Ukraine, yeah, there's probably a lot more Republicans that want to stop giving weapons to Ukraine or whatever, but like, it's not that big of a wedge issue is what I'm trying to say. It's not that big of an issue at all. In terms of foreign policy, I think like Americans care probably more about Gaza, or not even probably, I know that for a fact. Americans care more about Gaza than they care about Ukraine, but they don't even care about Gaza that much either. So like, it still goes back to foreign policy. That's why I used to joke about how like, there's not a NATO voter, there's not an AUKUS voter. Turns out I was right on that. There is one NATO AUKUS voter, and his name is Ryan. What was it? I'm forgetting his name. Sorry. Ryan Ruth. What? Did you see this horrendous tweet from Ruth? Oh, that gray streak in your hair is stupid. Grow up or go away. Yeah, I disagree. That's the one thing I disagree with him on. That is the only thing that is hot about Tulsi Gabbard, is the white streak. Everything else sucks. Like, I hate Tulsi Gabbard, but I mean, the white streak looks fucking sexy. I mean, she's already, yeah, she's attractive, but also like on top of that, she's like, the white streak makes her look like a comic book supervillain.
They're the ones that should have instituted these changes.
Jason, it's Alicia Acuna. The American people have been through so much this summer. We've already seen congressional hearings from July 13th. We got some answers, but there are still so many questions, and we're supposed to get some more answers, and they're not going to be good this coming week. You have to assume we're going to have more congressional hearings, and we are 51 days from.
You can tell they got really nothing. That's why they keep talking about like Biden wants him to die, because he won't give him like more money for his Secret Service. How much you want to bet Secret Service comes out and says they've already maxed out? Like, he gets max defense from Secret Service, more than like any other person has ever historically gotten. How much you want to bet? And on top of that, Biden will say probably that we'll give him even more additional Secret Service detail. Because like, what are you supposed to do? Get 100% of the budget? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the Fox News C Squad. They don't have their own version of Wolf Blitzer to break out for breaking news. Yeah. Why were the caddies not armed? Yeah, look, this is what I mean. This is not a good position, dude. This language must stop, says Richard Grinnell. Do you realize that if Donald Trump is assassinated, that our country will be ripped into two? I fear for America with these tactics. Your language is radical and contains two lies. For the sake of our country, stop. And then the person he's responding to is Hakeem Jeffries. And the thing that he's responding about is extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban in Trump's Project 2025. We must stop them. Like, that's not... You can't run a national campaign on being like, you are not allowed to run against my president. He was shot at twice now, even though the second time he wasn't even 1 hour after the news broke of the shooting. Absolutely despicable for posterity. Like, what? You think they're going to cancel him? This is hilarious. Fox is like, words are violence. Don't do it. Now back to our next topic. How we will remove 20,000 Haitians from a town violently. Yeah, this is fun. Another Trump assassination attempt. How quickly will the media bury it? Dude, what? Okay, you want to know why this is hilarious of him to say? You are burying it. You stop talking about it immediately afterwards. How many times do you think Ben Shapiro talked about the Trump assassination attempt since it happened? Do you think that it is a larger percentage than CNN? Maybe. But what do you think the margin is? That's what's so stupid about this. It's like, dude, it's just, it didn't work. Like, it didn't work. You can try and act like there is, wait, no, he's not Russian propaganda. How dare you? Ben Shapiro never got paid by Tenet. He is not Tim Pool, sir. Ben Shapiro did not get paid by Tenet, as far as we know. That would be really funny if he did. Like, I'm willing to bet that Ben Shapiro has probably talked about migrant crime significantly more times since Donald Trump got shot at than the Trump assassination. You know what I mean? Are you burying the story, Ben? No, you just understand that people don't give a f. They only care about what's in front of them, like the top of the hour ad break. What is this? What did he say?
Apparent assassination.
NBC News Lester Holt suggests that Trump and JD Vance are responsible for the assassination attempt on Trump today. Oh my God, they're being libtards, dude. They are. This is awesome. Dude, everyone in the Republican Party has been like nonstop chirping, and they've all become like hyperventilating libs. They're all doing like words or violence. How dare you? How dare you? Let's see what Lester Holt, my goat, said, which, by the way, the shooter also loved Lester Holt.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Wait, why are they're mad that they brought up Trump's like violent rhetoric after he got almost assassinated again?
Lester, simply put, Springfield, Ohio has been inundated by threats over the last several days, closing government buildings, schools, hospitals. Today, effectively closing a local university campus after administrators said someone threatened a mass shooting targeting Haitians. This in light of, officials say, a false online conspiracy theory alleging Haitian immigrants in that city are eating people's pets. Something.
What?
All right, we've lost our contact with Maggie.
MRC Newsbusters. Dun dun dun. They're so mad. Fucking disgusting. Real Donald Trump Jr. Yeah, I know you are, but what is Lester Holt? Fucking got him. Are you doing the CNN show? No, dog. The CNN show's not happening anymore.
Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
I got it. Okay. Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with that's not a long distance.
Hello, everyone. I'm Molly Line, along with Alicia Acuna, Charlie Hurt, and Joe Concha, and welcome to the Big Weekend Show. The big story tonight, a second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The Republican presidential candidate says he is safe and well.
Is it postponed or canceled? It's postponed. It's postponed until probably tomorrow. I don't know when they're going to do it, but they're going to slot it in again. They just had to take it out of the lineup because obviously the entire lineup shifted over to this higher order of priority news story.
There were 2 bags, a GoPro, and a long gun. Over 2 months ago, the former president survived a first assassination attempt during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president has responded to the shooting, writing, "There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender." Joining us now is Mark Levin, host of Life, Liberty, and Levin, and former chief of staff to Attorney General Edwin Meese in the Reagan administration. Thank you for coming on this evening. I just want to start with getting your insights on what has been a truly remarkable day.
Well, let's start this way. Thank you. Who's in charge? Who's in charge? We don't have any idea who's in charge.
Master Shay.
Who's in charge of protecting a presidential candidate in this country? Well, we can talk about the Secret Service, the FBI, DHS, and listen to all your great hosts with their tremendous experience. And it is fascinating to me. You know, I'm a little older. I served in the Reagan administration. I was chief of staff to Attorney General Meese. And let me tell you what would have happened in that administration. Ronald Reagan would have picked up the phone. He would have called Attorney General Meese. He would have said, "You're in charge of getting to the bottom of this, and you got 48 hours to do it." Meese, who I worked next to, he would have called the Treasury Secretary. He would have called every department that has any role in federal law enforcement. FBI reports to him. He would have dragged Christopher Wray up there. He would have brought in the U.S. Marshals. He would have brought them all in. Secret Service, Secretary of DHS. We would have been in the Situation Room with the United States Department of Justice. And Ed Meese would have said to all those gathered, "You better GD get to the bottom of this, and you have 48 hours to report to me, and I want to know how you're going to fix this. And I want to know right away how you're going to fix this." Twice on our watch? Never. Instead, we have very wise people who worked at the FBI, who worked at Secret Service, who worked in local law enforcement. Where's the Secret Service? Where's the FBI? Nobody is in charge because we have a president of the United States who's mentally incapacitated. We have a vice president of the United States who's an incompetent, way
The
over
more,
her head.
the more
with
the
an
angrier he
Attorney General
gets,
of the
the more
United
he
States
sounds like
who
Master
just
Shake.
held a press event the other day about violence, and he's what? In the witness protection program. The top 3 people in charge of law enforcement in the United States of America. 2 of them tweeted. 1 of them did nothing. Now, this isn't about tweeting. Oh, I'm so glad that President Trump is well. Well, isn't that nice? The executive branch is run by the President of the United States. Number 2, the Vice President of the United States. Federal law enforcement, ultimately, the Attorney General of the United States. And they're all AWOL. They're nowhere. So it's perfectly fine if we keep banging heads about the head of the Secret Service, the head of the FBI. These are bureaucrats mostly. Mayorkas, we know what he is. He's a complete incompetent buffoon. But where the hell is the president, the vice president who wants to be president, and the attorney general who has done absolutely nothing to get his hands around this? Now, I'm telling you this as somebody who served at the highest level of the Department of Justice, that justice wouldn't sit back and wait for a local special agent in charge in Miami to take over. They'd be sending guys in there from Washington, D.C., and Meese would have wanted to report every hour on the damn hour. And he'd want to know what we're going to do to fix this. And I can also tell you that the first time around this would have happened had Ed Meese been the Attorney General, Reagan been the President of the United States. So this is all evidence to me when I listen to everybody, and they're all fantastic. But it's all evidence to me of Keystone Cops. Who's in charge of what? Well, it depends. This one should have done that. This should have done... No, we need a general who's in charge and says, I want to know who the hell screwed up? I want to know what the hell we're going to do to fix this next time, what resources we need. And I don't want to hear again that the Secret Service doesn't have resources. We're $5 trillion in debt with this administration. Maybe a little bit of that climate change money or money going to illegal aliens. Maybe that money could have been moved into the Secret Service. I have no idea. But we have no time to figure all that out. We have 50 days until a presidential election. Let me ask you a question. Does Joe Biden seem that concerned tonight? Where is he? Does Kamala Harris seem that concerned tonight? Well, she tweeted. Isn't that nice? I tweeted too. So what? The Attorney General of the United States, does he seem that concerned tonight?
What is she supposed to do?
They just don't.
What is she supposed to do? Take up arms against, like, whoever might assassinate Trump next? Like...
That is what's happening. Every part of it, including the best parts of it, the federal law enforcement parts of it, they're now running adrift. I speak as a former person who served at the highest level of the Department of Justice.
So, Mark, Charlie Hurt here. Obviously, you're exactly right about President Biden being completely MIA and has been for a long time in the presidency. But we're sort of back at this, after the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, there was all of this professed unity where President Biden and others talked about how they were going to lower the rhetoric. But now we're back to where you have Democrats issuing tweets saying that they're glad that the guy they called last week Hitler survived another assassination attempt. Mm-hmm. It strikes me that maybe they didn't really mean it when they said it 6 weeks ago.
Of course they don't mean it. If you watch MSNBC for about 15 minutes, the hate and the drivel and the contempt that pours out of their pores from Joy Reid and, don't get me started with a long list. CNN, so contemptible. Every time they mention Trump's name, they have this constipated look on their face, like it's unbearable. The way that you have prosecutors talk about Donald Trump, elected prosecutors and a Garland-appointed prosecutor, the things that they say in their briefs are so horrendous. What some of these judges have to say. The Democrat Party controls the culture. They control the media. They control the propaganda. They now control many of the court systems, and that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing a one-party monopolistic system. And people have written about this long before me who've gone through these various regimes, totalitarian regimes, their use of words, creating devil terms and angel terms. Trump's always the devil. Kamala Harris is the angel. And you can see this endless propaganda and contempt. And by the way, they hate you and me, too. They've made it abundantly clear they hate at least half the country. So, of course, this contributes to the nut jobs out there and so forth. But still, I don't know how much we can do to fix that. I do know we can do something to fix the executive branch. And we got to boot these people out as fast as possible, take these agencies back. We need to fumigate them. We need to get people in there who are serious public servants and civil servants. We need to put competent people in senior positions. We need to take the FBI back. We need to take all the federal agencies, and particularly the police agencies, back. We need to take the Department of Justice back, and we can do that in the next election because right now they're completely and utterly either out of control or rudderless.
Mark, it's Joe Concha. I'm going to read a quote from Lester Holt, who was reporting on this assassination attempt. Again, the second in 64 days. Here's what he said tonight on the NBC Nightly News, and you're going to get a real kick out of this. Quote, today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance, continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, resulting in bomb threats. So in other words, it's Trump's fault that somebody tried to shoot him today because of something that was said about Springfield, Ohio, which has had an influx of thousands upon thousands of Haitian immigrants to their town. And because Trump brings that up and because J.D. Vance brings that up, therefore, that's what's leading this. I'll let you go from here because I can't believe what I just saw right now on the NBC Nightly News.
Sickening. Absolutely sickening. No, actually, I thought it was all the Democrats and their anti-Semitism. I thought it was all the Democrats and their anti-Israel. I thought it was all the Democrats hunting down Jews on the universities and college campuses. I thought they were the problem. I thought it was all the illegal immigrants murdering, selling into slavery, women and children. Maybe Lester Holt has a difficulty digesting facts around it. This guy is not a Haitian. In fact, the more I'm reading I'm getting information he may have been an anti-Semite. I don't know what he is. We'll get the facts. But Lester Holt doesn't have any facts.
Bro said one time the murders in Gaza has to stop, and they're immediately like, he's an anti-Semite.
The computer would melt down.
Everyone knows.
In order to try and turn, look, let's be honest, they've been trying to turn Trump into a non-human, and that's what they've been trying to do from the beginning. They're dehumanizing him. And they've been doing this. I've written about this in 2 books.
Dude, what are you saying, dude? What are you saying? The Democrats are pussies, but like, of course, despite being pussies, they're still running a campaign against Donald Trump. Every now and then, they will actively be like, Trump is bad for America, as you're supposed to. These guys are so used to bullying the liberals that they straight up are like, if you're running against the Republican after he got shot at, you're a bad person. You should just let him win. It's like, are you insane? Like, what is this argument? What are you saying? Oh, where's the humanity? Yeah, dude, they're running a campaign. It's insane, dude.
Cops who's in charge of what?
Mark, it's Alicia Acuna, and thank you so much for being here. You know, as you know, the acting U.S. Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe gave an update to senators on Thursday on the internal investigation from the July 13th assassination attempt. And
yeah, Republicans be like, these file demons who have actually brought in every black and brown person from the third world to come and rip our beautiful white daughters, okay, who stole the election, are dehumanizing our president instead of just saying, sorry, you win this round, sir. Go ahead. It's like, yeah, I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I don't personally care. And thank God, even the most annoying baby mealy-mouthed, feckless, cowardly liberals don't give a shit either. Because, like, at this point, that's the last thing that they could do. You know what I mean? That's like the last thing that they could still pull on, to be like, you know what? In the interest of fairness, to preserve American democracy, we're just going to let Donald Trump have this election because he got shot at. I wouldn't put it past them, but thank God that they're not. You should do a stream with big boob and breast. Facts.
But I want people to remember about Thomas Paine. I want them to remember about Paul Revere. People say, well, what can I do? You know, I'm a janitor, I'm an electrician. You can do a hell of a lot. You are the Paul Revere's and you are the Thomas Paines. You need to talk to 10 people. You need to talk to 15 people. You need to make sure you not only vote early, you get people vote early. We can't rely on political parties to get out the vote. We have to get out the vote. It's now. We have 50 days to try and fix this right now.
These sort of flaws seem to fall by the wayside. They're on the cutting room floor. Nobody seems to care. And think about the signal it sends to our adversaries. If we could get 2 apparent clowns who are low level to manage to almost do what they almost did here, not only in Butler, but down in Florida, what does it say to the IRGC in Iran? What does it say to some of our more radicalized enemies around the world? What it says is America's not what they used to be. We don't have to worry about these guys. They don't even seem to be able to protect one of their main VIPs, who may very well be the next president. It is a diminution of American stature, American status, and the fact that we can't do this. If you're sitting where, let's say, the Chinese or the Russians are, you got to say, we don't have to worry about these guys.
Would you be worried, Paul, to my point earlier, and I asked Mark this, I asked Jason this as well, that a 20-year-old outflanked the entire Secret Service.
Bro had to weave in, and IRGC mentioned, yeah, they love Iran. So did he take the shot or not? Because they're acting like the crank emptied the clip. No, dude, they did not. They are trying to massage the narrative to a way into a situation where it kind of feels like there was a real threat against Donald Trump, and this time there obviously wasn't, unlike the last time. He didn't even get a fucking shot off, dude. Yeah, he got shot at by Secret Service. He ran away. Would-be shooter arrested. Yeah, I mean, even in the Chiron, it says would-be shooter arrested, GoPro and gun found outside of Trump International Golf Club. To be fair, it's still an assassination attempt. I know, but they're lying about the events that took place because no shot was fired in his vicinity. They're making it seem like this guy literally grazed Trump again when obviously he didn't. And that's the funny part about this, because they also then have to complain about something, and they're basically like, oh, well, what about the Secret Service? Like, they didn't do a good job. It's like, what do you mean? They literally foiled an assassination attempt. What the fuck do you want them to do? And therein lies the problem. You can't cut a narrative off of this when the actual the actual things that happened are not even as like eye-catching as the last time this occurred. And the last time this occurred, nobody gave a shit. So like, it's funny to me that they're doing the exact same thing again. I tweeted, love that the last time Trump almost got domed, the GOP message was these monstrous Dems who export illegals from the third world to rape your kids still are campaigning against our president with mean words. And it didn't move the needle even a little bit, and they're doing it again. It didn't work the last time, and Trump almost got killed, man. They hate him. I'm a Joe Brandon voter. I'm writing in for Biden. I'm writing in Biden. Damn, look at this guy. Warning about Ryan Ruth. He is not and never has been associated with the International Legion or the Ukrainian Armed Forces at all. He's not and never has been a Legion recruiter. He is misrepresenting himself and lying to many people. Ruth is currently posting on Facebook about getting Afghanistan citizens into the International Legion. He told the New York Times in 2023 that he wanted to get soldiers in the Ukraine illegally. Ryan Ruth has many public Facebook posts about getting soldiers in the Ukraine in 2023 and 2024. He has no authority to act on behalf of Ukraine and ignores laws about visas. Ruth is either human trafficking, scamming people, or attempting to break as many countries' laws as he can to try to smuggle people into Ukraine to fight. This is unethical, unprofessional, and unacceptable. This was back in 2024 in June, I think. Other issues. Ruth has posted soldiers' phone numbers on websites without permission, giving out recruiters' phone numbers to people without permission, manipulates people into breaking laws. Avoid any contact with Ruth as he misrepresents what he can legally do. I served in the International Legion for 2 years, and I've told Ruth many times since 2022 that he's not helping, and what he's doing is illegally. He doesn't listen. To add to this, he was previously attempted to recruit from Syria and Iraq. When he was asked to stop, he wouldn't. He was trying to come up with entry routes and was trying to organize visas for people categorically said won't be allowed into the army. It's remarkable how disparate the media footprints of the Butler shooter versus Ruth were. Yeah, some other shit. Does Brace know this man? This man is like Bizarro Brace, dude. He's like reverse Brace. If Brace was just bad and insane. Is Ryan Ruth trans? No, dumbass. What the f? Are conservatives saying he's trans now? Is that what they're doing? I mean, it's not.